and I'm a friend of the show.
I am Francisca George, and I'm a friend of the show.
Perfect.
Hi, my name is Susan Leemans, and I'm a friend of the show.
My name is Zainab Samas, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
Hey guys, my name is Sasha Vickery, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
Hi, my name is Lloyd Harris, and I'm a friend of the show.
Perfect.
Hi, my name is Jan Faria, and I'm a friend of the show.
Boom.
Yes.
Take one. Well done.
Hi, my name is Jasmine Paolini, and I'm a friend of the show.
Wow, Jasmine, you got it in one time.
Ready? Play.
Hey guys, time to watch Clara Tauson, friend of the show. This should not be on the screen presently. Let me see what I can do about that. Well, that's also not what I was going to do. But anyway, okay, yeah, that's, I think, no. Okay, guess that works. Although I think I can do better. Yeah, for example, this is okay. Anyway, yeah, welcome to a stream from round 4 of Wimbledon. Actually, the last one on the women's side, and we also have Sinner and Dimitrov playing the last one on the men's side, going on simultaneously. This will be Iga Swiatek playing against Clara Tauson, their third career meeting. The first one was Billie King Cup 2019, and then of course 2022 Indian Wells. So it's been a while. Clara has had, well, the best season of her career so far. She is pretty likely to break the top 20 after Wimbledon. And she has also knocked out Elena Rybakina, who was supposed to be, well, a big threat to Swiatek here. So let's see how this one goes. Swiatek is already 3 breakpoints down right away. There was a double fault in there, but also a nice return 1-2 punch from Clara. Obviously, if Tauson is going to win the match, she's going to have to strike early, basically. I'm not talking early in the match. I'm talking early in the rallies, early in the points. You know, we all know how her footwork is. And yeah, if she allows Iga to just kind of move her around the court with margin, or if Iga is able to wrestle herself to a position where she can do that, yeah, it's going to be difficult for the Dane. However, she breaks to love to start the match, and it was actually her return now that moved Iga so far wide. And even despite that movement being so good for the pole, she was not able to get this done at all. We have some quality, comparison on our screens with forehand, backhand, serve, and return. Clara slightly ahead in the serve category. Return slightly ahead for Swiatek. And actually on the shots, Iga is posting much, much better numbers, forehand and backhand. I'm actually even surprised how much better. Maybe it's a good, forecast for her for this match. I don't know. The first game obviously was not too promising for the Pole. Swiatek made the final in Bad Homburg at the start of this grass season. And, well, I mean, now that Rybakina is out of her part of the draw, while there are still a lot of, difficult opponents, like Tauson, like Samsonova, who is awaiting in the quarterfinals, or Andreeva or Bencic, who would be playing her in the semis, or maybe Arina Sabalenka, who is a pretty big favorite to make the final from the other half of the draw. You kind of have to start thinking about it, Is Iga actually one of the contenders to win it? I don't know where you guys have her. I mean, obviously, just after this match, we will have only 8 players left in this Wimbledon. So is she upper half if she beats Tauson? Probably. However, let's see if Clara is going to be easy to handle. Obviously, eliminating Elena Rybakina, that was a big win for Tauson, who had a tremendous start to the season. Later on, maybe a little bit slower, but obviously, well, she's still a prime talent. So this will not be an easy match for Swiatek, I'm sure. And it will kind of depend on how much she's able to, just get the margins in, get the angles, move Clara around it, and obviously handle that early pressure that will no doubt be on her serve, will be on her early in the rallies too. I guess stylistically, Tauson, Rybakina, it's pretty similar, right? Well, that's a really nice second serve return from Swiatek to go 30-15 up on return. Yeah, just you can see that when Clara is going to be moved, stretched, especially maybe wrong-footed, she's going to be in trouble. So she basically has to stay ahead and just, use her amazing ball striking ability. Because that movement sometimes is going to hurt when watching it. And actually against Rybakina, it was Elena who was much more like slow-footed, which, yeah, it was a battle of similar players in many ways. Really nice return from Swiatek here as well. I think it's twice now in this game that she found the baseline with her return, and it's like plenty of spin on it, but also the pace, the depth. And Tauson both times, I think, was basically expecting the ball to go out. So return-wise, this is a very good game for Swiatek so far. And she's got a couple of breakpoints. This will be more difficult. She has to hit a block return. And she's just trying to fend off the power of Tauson, which she will not be able to do eventually. That flutter ball coming at the Iga forehand, that might be an issue for the most part in this match. But yeah, all started with a good serve. But it will be a breakback, as Clara Tauson is now sending her backhand down the line long. And, well, they've just traded breaks early. Tauson is talking to Mariana Veljovic about something. I've got no idea what. I don't know if I even have, or I have sound on, but okay. She's saying something about the grass, that she can't slide. Not really sure what it was about. I turned on the sound too late. Maybe some of you did. Snehi says that Iga is the last hope for his bracket. Well, for my bracket on the women's side, there's no hope. Yeah, I think a lot of them will look like that. But obviously, I had Sabalenka losing to Keys, and Madi suffered an early exit to Zygmunt. I had Alexandrova and Noskova in my semis, which, well, they both lost in the fourth round competitively, but nonetheless didn't work out. And here I had Rybakina going deep. So my WTA bracket is in shambles to a point where I don't think it's so, savable at this point. So I'm not really looking at that, to be honest. We got a lot of spam in our chat, but okay, the producer handled that, I see. Sinner has been broken for the first time this tournament. Okay, I didn't even know that he hasn't suffered a break. I know that he hasn't lost a set. Three players before today on the men's side, I think, were, got to the fourth round without dropping a set, and that was Koboli, Shelton, and Sinner. Shelton and Koboli have now dropped one set each. We'll see if Yannick suffers that same fate. Whoa, nice point from Iga here, approaching the net, picking off the forehand volley. Not really what we see from her most typically, but nice work. Of course, this is a very different year for Swiatek in terms of her approach to the grass season, right? I mean, she basically, the last few years, ever since she became a top player, she was a top player in the sense that, she became like number one, number two, and the likes. So from 2022 onwards, she was always winning Roland Garros, right? And it's not like she didn't care about the grass season, but just had a very different level of importance. She was arriving, tired physically and mentally. So this time, because she didn't win at RG, this is where she can finally kind of dedicate herself fully to the grass swing. And I think we've already seen effects of that, but obviously her ambitions lie much further than the forefront. She was already in Wimbledon quarterfinals once, 2023, saving 2 match points against Belinda Bencic in the fourth round, and then losing in the quarters to Alina Svitolina. From 15-all here, 2 double faults for Swiatek, and she's actually made 4 of them already in this match. Well, there's a lot of pressure from the second serve return of Tauson, but it's not just that, right? I mean, she's just really struggling to find her rhythm on that. We'll see if this improves, but you don't really want to be doing that against Tauson, that's for sure. And it's another first serve that doesn't find the court. She'll no doubt be thinking about the previous double faults. Let's see if she can avoid a similar fate here. Tauson will be trying to fire early. And I think she's just done that, yes. Goes through the middle of the court at Iga's forehand still, though. And that flat ball, again, just isn't handled properly by the pole. So 3 breaks early on, as Tauson leads 2-1, taking us to the changeover. And indeed, Grigor Dimitrov 3-1 up on Yannick Sinner. Grigor was, of course, coming into the French after an injury. We didn't really know what his position was like, health-wise. But maybe he can threaten Yannick at least a little bit. Shelton awaiting them in the quarterfinals, obviously. One could argue that if Sinner was to lose to Dimitrov somehow, then Djokovic would have a pretty easy path to the final. I think that's maybe a little bit too much. If we think of Shelton potentially clashing him in the semis, I think that would be a pretty close match. But nonetheless, of course, it would open things up. Do we still have some mixed doubles action? I don't think so. I think that's done for the day at Wimbledon. So yeah, we're just left with the 2 singles matches. Indeed, Snehil, a lot of double faults, but that's probably something she will iron out, I suppose. You'd think at least that she will be able to let go of some of these. Clara Tauson about to serve at 2-1. Clara has posted a few incredible wins this season. Obviously, Aryna Sabalenka was the standout in Dubai. Who else was so big? I think she beat Keys as well, right? Just before Maddie won the Australian Open. She obviously defeated Rybakina 2 days ago. So she's had quite a few massive scalps this season. Swiatek she still hasn't beaten, but of course hasn't played her since 2022 either. Well, now a couple of serves that will give her 3 points. If Iga is not able to improve her serving quality, she will be in trouble in this match. Because the way she broke Tauson in the first game, that's probably not going to be available to her every single game, every single point. Especially as Clara now hits this great slider out wide for an ace and looks to produce that 3-1 lead. It's 3 game points. Pretty fast pace so far of this match. I mean, obviously that's how Clara plays, but yeah, I think we're gonna struggle to see any longer rallies here. It's 7:16 p.m. at Wimbledon. I don't know when they have to... I don't know when they have to close the roof for, in terms of the sunlight, but probably not for a while. If the roof was closed, Tauson would probably have an advantage, but it's not. We still have a lot of sun. So this match probably will end with the roof open. That's my assumption. Anyway, 3-1 Tauson. I mean, that was such an easy service game for her that you can definitely say that the pressure is now on Iga to respond to that in some way. And that way would also be not making 2 double faults each game. Well, that's a great response. Very similar ace to the third point of the previous game that Tauson hit. Vinfi set on our screens. He has been working with Iga for, well, just about 9 months, more or less. Mixed feelings about how it's going, definitely, from the tennis crowds, tennis fans, Iga fans. I think he still deserves benefit of the doubt, for sure. Another really nice serve. I don't know if it's the ladies that we're watching or if it's actually the conditions today, but they are looking pretty quick, that's for sure. And maybe this can be a very quick hold for Iga, just like Clara had a second ago. So far, no returns in play. Have we seen any returns in play since the changeover? Barely, maybe one of them. And now goes at the body, and we're actually going to get a point. But there's a bit of a net clip there from Iga's backhand cross court, and Clara will not be able to put her shot over the net. It was only 1 minute and 15 seconds in this Iga game. So if Snehil and Iga fans were hoping for some better serving from the pole, well, that was it. I will not tell you, Ghosty, who I'm rooting for. I don't know if I have a strong preference, but I probably do have a preference still, slightly. Dimitrov up a break on Yannick, indeed. And 3-1, he's trying to get to a 4-1 lead. If we're thinking about a match like this, where there's a massive underdog, taking the first set is usually vital. So he knows what to do if he is to make this any sort of a match. Well, that was a couple of rapid holds for both players. Let's see how Swiatek reacts now. She is the one chasing now, right? Of course, we've had a number of results coming in today already. Djokovic kind of struggling with the ADM, but surviving. Koboli ending the run of 2007 finalist Cilic. Shelton beating Sonego again. Bencic making her first Grand Slam quarterfinal outside of the US. Samsonova also making it through. Very good grass court there. And Andreeva defeating Emma Navarro 6-2, 6-3. Kind of making it into the quarterfinals under the radar. I mean, just has had a pretty good draw so far. And now we'll see what she can do with it later on in the event. About all of these matches, you will also get to hear on Last Ball Drops today, which will be me and Vansh. And it will come, when the last ball drops. I don't know yet if it will be Swiatek Tauson today that will be the last match, or if it will be Dimitrov and Sinner. If Grigor is going to be pushing Yannick, then probably that, as they started more or less at the same time. And of course, a best of 5 set match is typically expected to be a bit longer. Well, Iga needs some better returns in play, and she does get it on the second point of the 6th game. When the rally gets a bit longer, but she's able to survive, she's able to time the ball well on the forehand side. Yeah, you can see that she's going to have more shot tolerance than Clara eventually. We'll see if we see Iga making any adjustments return position-wise as well. I read something interesting that Carlos said yesterday, that basically with the balls that they're using at Wimbledon, it's kind of difficult to return closer to the baseline, especially when they get worn out, when they get more heavy. And that's why against Rublev, he made the adjustments that he did. Which I think is quite interesting for sure. I don't know if it will impact the other players, if they have the same feeling even, but both Swiatek and Alcaraz are kind of in the same boat of sometimes trying to go for a little bit too much on their returns and not relying on the strengths they have in terms of movement, athleticism, physicality. Well, this is a bit of a meltdown here from Tauson, as at 15-all she hit a double fault, and now she also fires this +1 forehand wide. So we will now have 2 breakpoints for Swiatek to get us to 3 games all. Definitely not a match so far that we would say it has a lot of rhythm, right? They're just playing some very quick points. Oh, that's just so wrong from Tauson, though. Iga was so far wide after the serve, and she just tries to wrong foot her, I think. But I mean, it's just like she didn't pay attention at all to what Iga was doing, because the serve of Tauson was so good. There was no chance for Swiatek to return to the middle of the court, and Tauson, for some reason, assumed that Iga would. And yeah, she pays the price as the next shot is returned, and then Tauson makes another error, very similar to actually the previous one, I think. Anyway, 3 games all. Much of zero rhythm, very short rallies so far, and increasingly good serving, I suppose, as Swiatek fires another ace out wide. Her second, Tauson has 1. All of them were exactly the same for both players. I mean, deuce side, slider, wide, ace. In terms of Tauson, like if Iga is to get through Tauson, playing some Sonova next, it would kind of be a similar matchup, right? And then semis would be very, very different. And that kind of goes for the same for everybody here. I mean, Tauson, Samsonova, if they face each other in the quarters, they're just gonna be like clashing for who gets to dominate. And then they meet Andreeva Bencic, and you have to think. You play somebody who like redirects the ball so well. So yeah, definitely some very different challenges ahead of one of the players. Based on what we've watched so far during this season, I feel like Sabalenka will reach the final and then lose to somebody there. We just don't know yet to whom. Of course, she might as well just win the title. I'm kind of joking. Or might lose to like Anisimova or Pavlyuchenkova, who have been somewhat difficult opponents for her in the past. More good serving, forces that block return from Tauson, and then has an easy put away. Again, if Clara was maybe a little bit more brisk on her feet, yeah, I think she maybe makes an attempt to chase down this ball. It would be a good win for Swiatek to get this, because like the way they're playing so far, it's just a serve return battle, and these are probably some of the worst parts of Iga's game. Okay, their return, yeah, sure, she wins 50% of her return games, but I just mean, in quicker conditions, she tends to go for a bit too much most of the time. Well, Tauson, 40 love down, she slaps this backhand return, pretty much hits the baseline with it. Let's see if this is just a momentary fight back, or if she actually has what it takes to still push Iga in this game. Would it be the first time that Swiatek has led this match? I think so, if she gets to 4-3, as she was broken in her first 2 service games. Should be good here, yeah. Again, forces that block return from Tauson, approaches, doesn't even have to play a smash or a volley. 4-3 Swiatek, very quick, rapid match so far. And yeah, it's been very even as well. Dimitrov leads Sinner 5-2, so we might actually have everybody in the main draw of Wimbledon right now, on the men's side, I mean, dropping at least 1 set going into the quarters. I think in terms of the women's draw, we have Sabalenka, who hasn't lost a set, right? Because she didn't lose it to Mertens, so I think she hasn't. Actually, Zygmunt hasn't lost a set either, right? That's kind of insane, but I don't think she has. Of course, it's a bit easier in the best-of-3 format, but nonetheless, it's not somebody I would have expected to be in the quarters of Wimbledon without dropping a set. Andreeva hasn't lost a set either. I think Bencic has for sure. Yeah, she had a couple of very difficult encounters. Iga has lost a set. Tauson has lost a set too to Heather Watson. And Samsonova, I don't think she's lost a set either, right? So on the women's side, there's a lot of quarterfinalists who have not dropped a set. Well, half of them. Andreeva, Samsonova, Sabalenka, and Zygmunt. But yeah, only one man remaining in the event who hasn't, and that is Jannik Sinner, but maybe not for long. Clara Tauson serving at 3-4, starting to get into these like pretty key games of the opener. You lose that, you are not in a good spot anymore. This could be a good example of a point. Oh, actually, it's not. But I mean, this could be a good example of a point. Could have been a good example of a point where like Iga just survives these 2 or 3 shots at first, and she's moving around the court that much better than Clara that eventually she will get her new miss. Didn't happen this time, forced error, but I guess points like this is what Iga kind of wants to play, nonetheless. At least on return, because on serve the last 2 holds, she just didn't have to work for them at all. It's a great serve, and the reaction from Swiatek is a little late. The parents of Clara Tauson sitting here. Maybe they will watch one of the best wins of their daughter's career. Maybe they will watch her lose at Wimbledon. We will find out relatively soon. Ferdilov, what will Clara do on the second serve? Goes at the body of Swiatek. It's a good return. But again, Swiatek that recovers back to that middle position, but still cannot handle the pace of Tauson. So Ferdilov up for the Dane, looking for another quick hold, which has been the standard here ever since Iga broke back for the second time. And this is another really good serve, which she really should put away. She's kind of having these issues with seeing where Iga goes on these +1 forehands in the middle of the court. Still wasn't like really threatened by this forehand pass from Iga, or I should rather say potential forehand pass from Swiatek, because she didn't connect with the ball. 26 minutes in, we're at 4-all. This has really been a fast-paced grass court match for women's singles especially. Fritz Pecci Pericard levels, kinda. If they get to a tiebreak and keep the space, it would be like, 45 minutes? We'll see. And that's still obviously featured 2 breaks each, right? It hasn't just been serves, but even the return games have been very, very short. Good combination from Swiatek here. Going for this like inside-out backhand was maybe a little unconventional, but then she quickly changes position, fires a forehand down the line winner. Going at the body of Tauson, that was a serve that was working so well against Collins, but Clara seems a little better equipped to handle it. Nonetheless, Swiatek is able to start moving her around a bit and fires another forehand winner. Yeah, if Clara was a slightly better mover, top 10 threat right now. But points like this pretty nicely show that it is a lacking feature in her game. And this is looking like another quick fire holds. 40 love for Swiatek. I mean, considering she really doesn't, usually she's losing the serve return battle. She's actually handling her business pretty well. Obviously had these two double faults double faulting twice in 2 games early on, but she's restored it and now she's serving very well. 40 love. Second serve. We'll see if maybe the double faults issues come back or not. It seems to be pretty windy at Wimbledon today as well. I think Djokovic was struggling with that too. Well, the double fault is there, but at 40 love, it might not matter. We'll see. Five double faults to Tauson's 1. But if she's going to be 5-4 ahead, that stat is kind of irrelevant, I suppose. Will she be 5-4 ahead? It's a good body serve this time. This time it was deep enough that even though Tauson has been reacting to them pretty well, there wasn't much that she could have done. And Grigor Dimitrov, by the way, 5-3, 40 love up on Yannick Sinner, and he takes the opening set. Oh my. Yeah, Koboli has not. Koboli dropped a set today to Cilic, is what I was trying to say. Bencic did have match points on Iga. Yes, Bencic had 2 match points on Iga in 2023 for round 4. Oh, you meant Sigmund and Koboli to win the tournament. Yeah, Sigmund would be the most funny winner, that's for sure. On the men's, who do we still have? Nori, I guess. Or yeah, I think Nori would be the most insane winner still. Yeah, there was a there were some news reports that Badosa is not dating Tsitsipas anymore. Can't say if it's true or not. I think some people are adding a pretty ridiculous narrative to this relationship that basically everything in Steph's life has been worse since they started dating, or the other way around. I mean, just focus on the tennis. Cristina Barcelona just reminds me of the movie, not Buxa, but fair enough. Yeah, Kobori lent a set. Have I been to Wimbledon? No, I haven't been to any of the slams. I'm not even looking at that as something that I want to do, to be honest. Just I guess not really my thing for the most part. I mean, if it ever works out in the way that I would be like work at one of these events, sure. I mean, I wouldn't mind it, but I don't like actively seek a goal like this. Anyway, 4-5, Tauson under slight pressure now at love 15. Iga just extending the point a little bit, and that was enough. Great serve. Oh my. She has to take advantage, right? Yeah. Chalk went up. Good spin as well, coming away from Swiatek. Forces that block return, and then just puts it away. I wonder if in like the history of Swiatek matches, if this would be the one with like the lowest average rally, average shots in a rally, because this has really been so quick, so fast paced. And that's another just +1 backhand from Tauson killing Swiatek here. This is what she should have done as well on that point ages ago, when she was broken back at 3-2. Don't like calculate. If you play a serve that is this good, and if your opponent is somewhere in the stands, just play it in the other direction, It's fine. Okay, this looks a little bit more promising for Swiatek. Backhand trade, but what a ripper down the line from Tauson. Swiatek survives it though. Better angle from her, and she will like kind of come in, sort of. This is a long rally, and Tauson is actually holding her own. Playing a couple of slices, but she's finally pushed out wide a bit more, and that's going to be too much. So 30 all, 18 shots. Finally, we have a longer exchange. There was that one amazing backhand down the line from Tauson. It wasn't quite enough to kill it, and I think Iga did extremely well on a couple of these lower skidding slices from Tauson. Like usually these are not balls she's comfortable with, and maybe there was more she could have done on that backhand approach, but she just played it a little bit more safe, which is the goal, I suppose, against Tauson in a rally like this. So in the end, she obviously still wins it after handling another slice very, very well, just basically using a lot of width to the Clara forehand, and then that will give you points. Second serve, at 30 all. This is looking difficult for Tauson now. Serve is in play, but so is a really good return from Iga. Just big pace down the middle of the court, not looking for any precise target, and just getting Clara to hit a forced error, basically. So it's a set point for Swiatek. Tauson frustrated, talks to her box here. 30-40, let's see. Big moment for sure. And a second serve again. I think it's also that side where they've had more issues controlling the wind, but we'll see. Okay, she kind of just rolls it in. The return isn't as good from Swiatek. But Tauson holds her nerve nicely. Plays a super deep backhand into the backhand corner and just follows it up with another one for a winner. Did not have to move much in this rally, but still a couple of readjustment steps there and plays a perfect backhand cross. So she saves the set point. But the game continues. This could be the longest game of the match by these standards. I mean, it's deuce, and there was also that 18-shot rally. Clara is also missing her first serve on the last few points, including this one at deuce. The serves have been pretty safe, the second ones, I mean. This one is 2. Swiatek goes for a big backhand. Tauson defending pretty well. Ooh, but she just kind of misjudges this ball coming at her middle. Just plays it so close with her arm so close to the body. 5 minutes in this game, so definitely the longest of this match, I think. But it's another set point for Swiatek. Tauson hasn't found her first serve in a while. Can she do that now? You can see on the camera that Iga is saying something to herself before these points. I wonder what it is. I couldn't quite get it. I'm not a good leap reader. Anyway, second serve again. So Tauson hasn't bought one in a while. Oh, and she double faults finally. I guess she was asking for it. If you are in this position and you're missing your first serve like 5 times in a row, at some point you're gonna miss it, right? If the pressure is mounting up. So Swiatek 6-4. Weird set for Swiatek, I think, because that's not how she usually plays. This like fast-paced nature of this match, but it hasn't made her uncomfortable. So that's something that she, I think, can definitely find as a benefit, as something that she has done well so far. Has won 85% of her first serve points and just 11 on the second serve. But I think that's probably like 1 out of 9 or something like that, and 5 are the double faults. Anyway, 4 out of 4 at the net, 3 out of 3 Clara, 11 unforced errors, 6 winners each, 26-24 total points won. I mean, the stats kind of tell you that it's been very, very close so far. It's all about that last game, really. Clara not finding her first serves and eventually just succumbing to the pressure. But yeah, 6-4, 36 minutes, Swiatek. And Dimitrov is up a set and a break. What the hell is happening over there? Yeah, Ghosty, I don't really feel like the slams are that much more interesting from my perspective. I mean, as a spectator, I definitely wouldn't want to go. I'd rather go to a challenger, really. Oh, did Novak claim a stomach issue? I actually didn't see that. I mean, Sean, yeah, but Sinner has also outplayed at 1,000, slice hitters, and he's like completely destroyed them as well. So, it's a decent strat, but the way that Sinner has been playing over the last year and a half, it's been difficult to touch him with anything. We have an MTO, or at least some sort of a physio visit to Tauson right now. I don't know what it's going to be about. Can we hear anything? They're just giving her some sort of a nostril thing, like inhalator or whatever you want to call it. I don't think it's an inhalator, but you know what I mean. Yeah, she's now receiving the medical timeout, as maybe you heard if my speakers were loud enough. And she just was, putting something in her nostril. I have no idea what it was. And I have no idea what this MTO is about. Is there any aspect of pro tennis that still gives you a thrill? Yes, challengers. Grand Slam qualifying. Grand Slam first week as well. Okay, Novak didn't claim to have any issue. Well, we'll see about that Carlos tactic. So far set on a break. Although, yeah, sure. I mean, it is the kind of match where, like, Sinner Dimitrov, once Grigor is 2 sets to love up, I'm gonna get interested. Before then, I'll be like, yeah. It's probably still not going to mean much. With Carlos, like yesterday, for example, right? He loses the first set to Rublev. Do you think I even turned on the match? Yeah, come on. Anyway, we're playing 4 minutes only, so it wasn't like she didn't take advantage of the full MTO time, whatever it was for. Was it some sort of like breathing issue, or I don't know? What do you do through your nose? Yeah, you breathe through your nose. Anyway, 6-4, Iga serving. Iga would be eager to serve to end this match in 2, that's for sure. Especially if she can keep serving pretty well, because, yeah, sure, she's made 5 double faults, she's barely winning second serve points, but on the first serve, she's been dangerous. The number of like quick holds that she's had in this match, definitely not too common for her. That's a nice inside-in forehand as well, kind of like curling it in Ben Shelton style, I would say. Of course, of the right hand, not of the left hand, but similar whip. And this could be another quick hold. 6-4, 3 game points for Swiatek. Goes at the body of Tauson. The block return will be a little uncomfortable. She has to approach the net. Sure, it works. The smash looked kind of clumsy, but it works. And it's a quick game for Swiatek as she's starting the second set with a 1 minute and 16-second hold. Payhawk. Salam alaikum, Nurlan, I suppose. I hope I'm not saying anything bad. Yeah, long time no see. I've been unavailable the last 3 days. Went to a darts event in Poland. Had a lot of fun, drank a lot of alcohol on the first day. After that, I was a good boy. But yeah, had a lot of fun. Still watched a fair bit of Wimbledon. Like Friday, I basically missed all of it. Saturday, I watched a fair bit before the darts began, but I was mostly focusing on the challengers. Yesterday, I caught pretty much all of it, with some exceptions, I guess, but pretty much the same as I would have at home. And yeah, today I'm back to talking tennis / Wimbledon duty, as Clara Tauson is back on the baseline to serve in the second set. What's my poison? 40%, 40%, that's for sure. Yeah, I mean, the warm-up is good. 2023. 2023, she also played Bad Homburg, but then she obviously withdrew after a few matches. I think even more so than, having that tournament in the warm-up, what's more vital for Swiatek is that she just has that very different attitude towards the grass season right now, right? She's not like heavily tired physically and mentally after dominating the clay swing. She's not played as much. And I think that's also making a big difference. But of course, yeah, the warm-up, I think, regardless of how the final went, well, she still gave a better effort against Pegula than at the US Open, for example. But regardless of how the final went, she got basically all she was hoping for from Bad Homburg. Even if it would have been nice to win her first title since Roland Garros last year, of course. Anyway, that was a really nice long point, and also some good inventiveness there from Iga at the end, not having to play that forehand, just forehand slicing it. Great stuff. That backhand down the line from Tauson stayed so low, and she's also ending the point with another stellar down the line shot, this time with the forehand side. So she's still fighting here. Do I think slice serve into the forehand is the best second serve for grass? I mean, I don't know if it matters much if it's into the forehand or the backhand. It can also change depending on whether you're playing a lefty or a righty. But yeah, I mean, second serve typically probably should be a slider on grass, yeah. Most of the time. Of course, you want to keep the variety high, but kick on the clay, sliced on grass works for me. You can obviously also use it as the first serve, and actually these two women do it a lot. They don't go all flat. Some issues timing the ball here from Iga on the forehand, so let's see if Tauson can claim the first game. She's looking a little frustrated and uncomfortable. I wouldn't say that she's like apparently injured or like the MTO was something, that is not allowing her to play. But she is not having too much fun over the last 20 minutes. Let's just say that. But she gets this game. So 6-4, 1 game all. As we can see on the screen, I don't know if you guys have the same stat pack or not. 25th Grand Slam appearance for Swiatek, and she's looking for her 12th quarterfinal, which is a pretty impressive feat. Of course, that's not all Roland Garros. She's done it at least a couple of times at the other slams on hard courts, and I think now she's looking for her second at Wimbledon as well. Of course, the first being 2023, when she saved 2 match points in this round, the 4th round against Belinda Bencic, and then lost to Elina Svitolina in the quarters. No idea what would have happened there if Svitolina doesn't beat her. Maybe it's Iga claiming the title, not Marketa Vondroušová. We will never know. Another good serve. I mean, Tauson is just standing pretty close and not being able to react to these. It's her fastest serve of the match as well, Swiatek, 117 miles per hour. That is 6 miles faster than the fastest serve of Clara Tauson. 117, that must be like, what, 190-ish? Maybe a little less, 185. I think about 126, 125 is 200 kilometers an hour. Really good second serve as well. Steps in for the inside in backhand. Well, for the last 20 minutes, Swiatek has been Ivo Karlovic on serve. All of these games are just quick and then like without any pressure, any trouble. The second serve was quite risky too here. Whereas previously when she was making these double faults, I would say that she was not making them because she was risking. She just really couldn't put it in play despite trying to. Another second serve at 40 love. We'll see what her approach towards this one might be, since this could be another risky one, or maybe she just plays it deep at 1000. We'll see. Yeah, it's a risky one for sure. But it works out extremely well. Again, just has to put it away later, but it's no problem. So 6-4-2-1, and it's more really good serving from Iga, which is kind of surprising. Goran's comments on Tsitsipas, but aren't they like fake? Or is there actually an article that is real? Because some of them were tennis center went out and just put out a lot of stuff out there. Dimitrov still up a break in that second set. Tennis fans all around the world wondering, okay, should we be thinking about the possibility of an upset right now? Or is this still too early? Is it still going to be Yannick taking advantage of Grigor eventually not being able to take this home? We'll see. Only one breakpoint that Grigor has faced so far. That was a 3-1 in the opening set. Didn't cave in. Yeah, didn't cave in. Never mind. I had a very weird linguistic thought for a second, but then I realized that I'm just stupid. Anyway, 6-4 to 1. Swiatek still slightly ahead, but of course we are on serve in the second set. With every trade of holds like this, though, of course the pressure on Tauson will be rising. And she's not going to connect with this backhand crosscourt here. Yeah, just puts the return in play at the Tauson backhand. Clara forced to slice, and it hits the tape. I love 30 now. Is this Iga's moment to strike? %81% of her returns in Swiatek, 61,000. It's a big difference. She also will not be able to find the first serve here, Clara. Love 30. This could get ugly for her in a moment. It's another good high percentage return from Swiatek. She's got Tauson slicing, and she follows it up. Oh my god, she's good today. Again, like this sort of mid-court, pretty low ball of the Tauson slice forehand. I've seen Iga struggle with this. Not today. Just putting that away for a winner like it's nothing. And it's 3 breakpoints now. She's also gone... Oh, she's gone 3 out of 5 on breakpoints. Tauson 2 out of 2. Another first serve that just barely misses for Clara. I think her percentages in that sense have definitely decreased. But Swiatek finally misses one of these returns. Kinda lost her balance trying to fire at this longer second serve from Tauson. 2 more breakpoints left. Just can't buy her first serve right now, Tauson. That is also, of course, hindering her progress, her chances in this match. Let's see if Swiatek takes advantage this time. It's a really good return. That's a start. It's another one of these like shorter slices from Tauson. A lot of creative shots being played here. Slices you're not usually going to see from Swiatek. One of them I think she thought she was going to miss, and she just didn't return to the middle of the court, which she pays the price for. It's just one more breakpoint now. Yes, she missed that moonball just by a tiny bit. So out of, almost a sure break, we might, and a 3-1 lead, which right now kind of would feel decisive. Swiatek has to make sure that she gets this one done here. Again, the first serve is not found by Tauson. Especially in these longer key games, she's really struggled with that. Has to retoss. Nerves, wind, who knows? She's not gonna make a double fault here. But she does put Swiatek in trouble. Will she convert the volley? I mean, this is a very weird point. Swiatek somehow survives and she's going to pass Tauson. Yeah, I mean, Clara could have done much better on that overhead, especially. She just played it back into the middle of the court, gave Swiatek enough time to come back. Then the approach shot was not that good either. Yeah, here we can see it. I mean, definitely could have done more here. And Swiatek takes advantage by passing her. So 6-4-3-1. She's doing very well here. And getting closer and closer to her second Wimbledon quarterfinal. Another hold would definitely put her in an even better position and, you know, just give her that sort of a safe lead for your head. Of course, it does not have to be safe at all, but it would be a big advantage. Mistimes her first forehand in the next game though. Dimitrov still up a set and a break. Oh my god. MTO for him as well. Ghosty says. Okay, it was for a fall. Okay. To be honest with you, I was reading the comments and I missed this point. I don't know if it's important enough for me to have to rewind. Probably not. It had Swiatek at the net. 8 out of 8 she is now. Tauson lost just one, which obviously was a very key moment just 2 points ago. Anyway, 15-all. Can this hold be as breezy for Swiatek as the weather is today, or as her previous few have been? Tauson will help out a bit with this missed second serve return. Wow, great serve again. 40-15. And another one down the tee this time. Another ace from Swiatek. I mean, her serving outside of the first few double faults in the first few games, it's been outstanding. 6-4-4-1, you know, a big part of why she's leading in this match, and Tauson has to get something going very quickly. Right elbow or right tricep, okay. Set at a break up Dimitrov, but Sinner has held, so 4-3, and just 2 games away from the second set. Dimitrov. Has Yannick come back from 0 to down many times? Not that it matters. I obviously remember the Fucsovics one, which was at Australian Open 2023, otherwise known as the Bonn edition. I will not explain why, but maybe some of you will know. And the other one was, yeah, of course, the Australian Open final last year. Yeah, it makes sense that I remember a random match, but I don't remember a Grand Slam final. Yeah, Sinner has that about him, obviously, considering that he is known to show when he's feeling something, and many times he kind of is more dangerous when he's doing that. So we'll see. Six, 4, 4, 1. Last call for Clara. Can't lose this game. Another great return from Swiatek, instantly putting Clara under pressure in this game. And now she's in control of the point again. Kinda gives Clara this backhand drive volley right back at her, but she still wins the point. Probably could have done a bit cleaner there than at Swiatek, but Tauson still not able to produce the pass. Love 30, couple of sensational returns early on in this game. How good is this return? It's pretty good. And she's got Tauson on the move. That's an unpleasant slice from the Dane, though. And Swiatek will miss the final volley. She was lured into the net and eventually didn't do her good. But it's still nice of her to show kind of this like level of comfort, let's say, to get to the net there. 9 out of 10 at the net. This was the first point she lost. She's got Tauson a little on the move again. Will she end the point? Not quite yet. Yeah, just playing with good margins, sending Clara wide. Should have this overhead now, and she does put it away very easily. So 2 breakpoints for a chance to serve for the match. And that's another amazing return. 6-4-5-1. I mean, Swiatek is full on dominating Tauson at the moment, and she needs just one more step to get herself into Wimbledon quarterfinals. 16 games in, so of course we have a ball change. Gonna be a racket change as well for at least Swiatek. I haven't seen Tauson on the screen yet. But 6-4-5-1, and she'll be serving to take herself to her second Wimbledon quarterfinal. Well, Tauson hits a return, but won't even try to chase down this down the line forehand from Swiatek. Okay, forehand slice from Swiatek to kind of set up the next shot. Tauson holding her own in this rally, though. Forehand cross-court exchange. Swiatek goes down the line. There's another low slice here as Iga approaches the net, and she will get the point. Again, the way she's been handling these low balls is quite surprising. And now she's just 2 points away. And that's going to be 3 match points for Iga. Well, I'm going to keep some thoughts for when the match is over, but another good serve. Will the Tauson return make it in? No. 6-4, 6-1, and Iga Swiatek is in her second Wimbledon quarterfinal. Well, I'm pretty surprised at how easy this one was, to be honest. I mean, we know that she has certain advantages over Clara, right? Especially the way she moves around the court. But yeah, I mean, especially the way that she was serving and the way that even she handled the match, in the sense that it was so rapid and like so fast paced. And for some reason, in the serve return oriented battle, like that's not what she likes. I remember this match, for example, against Rybakina in Stuttgart last year, when we said that this was how she lost it, right? Because Rybakina made this match, I don't know, 3 or 4 shots was the average rally. And that's how she just takes away so many assets from Iga. Tauson didn't today, even though the match was pretty similar in that regard, right? Her serving outside of the early double faults was just outstanding. She was very comfortable handling the lower slices and lower balls. Sometimes Tauson, she's not the greatest mover. And sometimes she was just defending on the stretch with these low skidding slices. And Swiatek is just so much better at handling them than she usually is. She was also very willing to go to the net. I can't say she was always very comfortable there, to be honest. But yeah, I mean, she also did well in that capacity. So yeah, I just really don't know what else to say. It was one of the best grass matches that I've seen her play, for sure. Tauson did not really give her much, adversity in the second set. I think she definitely gave up on it at some point, but that was also Iga's doing in many aspects. And it's a good sign for the future in the event. Next up, she's going to play Ludmila Samsonova, obviously another big server, flat hitter. She's just defeated Collins and Tauson. I guess she's ready for what she will have to do against Samsonova in many ways. I mean, you kind of know exactly what you're getting, right, from Samsonova. It's just all about the way that she's going to execute it. And basically, you know that her ball will be tough to handle, but the accuracy rate can be so different from match to match. Nonetheless, yeah, at least today was a brilliant showing. Second quarterfinal at Wimbledon. Has lost a set so far to Katie McNally, but it also wasn't ever like feeling like a match that she's actually in trouble in. So yeah, considering the Bad Homburg warm-up went so well, I think she's done everything to be ready for Wimbledon, and so far it couldn't really have gone that much better. Grigor Dimitrov, in the meantime, got broken while serving for the set. That's interesting. Do I see that this Iga would be able to beat Sabalenka? Somewhat difficult, that's for sure. Arina has had some issues winning slam finals this year, though. Maybe the unpredictable will happen. I would still say Sabalenka would be the favorite in a potential final, for sure. Draper gonna be at 6 kings. Yeah, they just took top 6 by the rankings. So that's kind of how it happened. Strawberry pasta. Have I seen this before? I don't know. I think I maybe have, but I haven't eaten it, I don't think. Yeah, I mean, that's fair, Marcus. Yeah. probably one of the best matches I've seen her play on grass. Yeah, that's, I think, fair to say. I've also seen people making this comment about the Collins one, but I barely watched it on Saturday, so I can't really say. But yeah, this was quite amazing. Anyway, I think we're gonna be wrapping this one up. Obviously, Sinner and Dimitrov are still playing. Maybe we'll still be playing for the next 2 or 3 hours. So after the Sinner Dimitrov clash is over, me and Vansh will see you guys at Last Ball Drops. Well, I don't even know what else to say. I mean, we'll get some insight from him as well on the Iga match, and also Snehid is asking about the prediction for Iga Samsonova. I mean, I kind of said it already, you know. She's handled Tauson and Collins. It's pretty much the same opponent. Is it slightly more difficult? Tough to say, but like the game plan stays the same. If she's serving like that, then she kind of takes away Samsonova's main asset, right? So if she's faring well in the serve return game against Samsonova, then she's winning it, right? That's like the only thing that Lyudmila has over her. These rallies, like up to 4 shots. Clara didn't win against Iga in these rallies. Daniel didn't. It looks pretty decent to me. I would say maybe it would be more. It would be a lot more interesting, I think, against Andreeva or Bencic in the semis, simply because it's such a different opponent. You have to handle all these like redirections of your pace, much more, let's say, unpredictable in terms of how the rally will go. And that's where I think she might struggle a little bit more. But at the same time, of course, it's Samsonova. There's always a chance that she's just going to slap her serve and her shots and, you know, everything goes in. But, you know, Collins, Tauson, good preparation for Samsonova. Anyway, see you guys. And we'll see each other on Last Ball Drops.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis.